on this one. We do appreciate you stopping by in Season of Skyrim, Season 2, and having a wonderful night. And even if you're from the good watching this fine evening, again, thank you so much for tuning in. Just real quick, just to let you know, so if you would like to help the channel out in any way, if any of you uploads of videos before anybody else, if you do join, we just want to thank you so much, and we helping out the channel very much if you hit that like button. Again, just want to thank you guys so much for tuning in. Really, I just can't thank you guys enough. I'm just going to say thank you all the way through. But I hope everybody enjoys it this fine evening, because I've had a wonderful day. Hopefully I'll be getting some good news before too long. And I'm just excited about this series, and I'm just excited about Mass Effect that we'll be playing later on this evening, because that series is near and dear to my heart, and it seems to be a real drawer to the crowds, as it were. And I'm just excited for everyone to see it and to be able to enjoy with the Mass Effect campaign that we're currently playing. It's gonna be we're gonna make as many episodes as we can for the series. It's gonna be a little bit of commentary. It's gonna be mostly gameplay. And what I mean by the gameplay, because Mass Effect, if you've ever played it, you know that it has a ton and a ton and a ton and a ton of narratives, and your characters and the side characters have banter, they'll talk to each other, so it's more of you watching a movie if you're tuning in to watch that. Now, I do invite you to come and watch that later on this evening, and we're fixing it started here in just a moment. I'm just finishing up, going to keep a couple things getting fixed on the stream, and please bear with me for the next couple moments, but I'm so glad you guys decided to stop by and watch. If you have any questions, feel more than free to ask on chat. I welcome any questions about the game, lore, and whatnot. And if you need to message me about how to help the channel, how you can help it, and anything like that, you can actually email me at CommodoreJesse2018 at you. Stopping by, visiting there, and I hope everyone has a great evening. And we're fixing it started here in just a moment. Like I said, I'm just finishing up a few things, so bear with me. Fix this real quick. One moment. Alright, I think I got everything fixed. If you guys are having problem hearing me, or you get too much echo from the gameplay, just tell me and I'm able to adjust the microphone as needed. Alright, let's get started. 3, 2, 1, start your dragons. Alright guys, just to let you know, I did a little bit of editing, and I had to finish some stuff on the game the past week, and I had to do some rescheduling of some of the streams. Every Monday we're going to be doing a Mass Effect episode of the series. Then every Tuesday we're going to be doing Star Wars Battlefront 2 gameplay. It's also one of my favorite things to play. You'll see I have a set amount of things I like to get through. I picked out a few games that start off with that should show what I like and enjoy, and I'm actually enjoying this quite much. So I mean, it's I just enjoy it. I mean, heck, I can't really explain it. It drives me up the wall. But like, I've bought a house, got everything ready on it. We're just finish this up. God bless whoever, thought, let's help these guys out a little bit with this. Let's give them fast travel, because good God, it definitely saves some time. Now, however, the only problem with fast travel, you don't get to meet all the different characters, be able to fight off wolves, saber cats, hunt elk and whatnot, and luckily hunt a few vampires. I mean, don't you know? Dragon's Reach. I think it's very interesting that the game designers designed a lot of Norse mythology. If you look at the way the longhouses and the keeps are built, They're very reminiscent to almost like a Gothic cathedral, almost when you're looking at the beams and how they're designed and how the main pillars are. And you have a lot of Swedish and Norwegian and Finnish Viking historical design. You have the long tables that were designed in Denmark. I think it's fairly fascinating and quite enjoyable.
Thank you. May the gods watch over your battles, friend. Now, if you don't mind, I've got a city to keep.
Aye, sir. Where be ye going, sir? See, follow the arrow. Not Collar Temple. Wait a second. Yeah, that's near Dawnstar. If I'm not mistaken, that's not too far from there. Okay, Dynstriders. Die! That one must have some springs in it or something or other. Oh, this is the wrong way also. I do not know what is blooming near my house, but whatever it is trying to kill me with all its might. Oh, what a lovely moon. It's kind of a half moon, a bottom moon. It's a bottom moon. We'll go with that. I declare ye a bottom moon.
Can't wait to gut one of those rebels.
Yeah, I want to get them to her.
Something to report? Your objective is Fort Castile. The rebels are keeping some of our men prisoner there. I aim to turn that into an advantage. I've sent men to scout out the area. You are to meet them, find a way to slip in, free our men, and take over the fort. They won't be expecting an attack from the inside. This won't be easy, but that's why I'm sending you. Think you can handle it?
I do believe so.
Stay sharp.
The life force of any of my enemies. I shall conquer them all. They shall be as locusts or death.
Have an opener.
Alright. There ye be, sir. There ye be. That is the sound of all my Irish and Scottish viewers disappearing rapidly. Oh, that would have been a fun death. I'm just gonna jump and commit suicide. The Commodore Jesse General does not control suicide or any kind of death in any way. We do reserve the right to reveal these. Thank you for tuning into the Commodore Jesse channel. All rights reserved. Alright, where are you guys at? Hello, Legionnaires. Where are you? This is the Commodore looking for you. Oh, there you are. Okay, 4 men. Oh.
Rebels like to forget.
Hey there. Can you believe this place? So cold my breath turns to icicles. What are we even doing up here? Guess Tullius wants to make sure everything is locked down before launching a serious campaign for East March. Anyway, I'm glad you're here. We're outnumbered again. More so than when we took that wagon. But if we work together, we can pull this off. There's a grate outside the wall. Looks like it used to be buried in snow. I don't think they know it's there. From the look of it, I bet it leads straight into the prison. I need you to sneak in there and free our men, killing anyone inside as you go. Once you've rescued the prisoners, head out to the courtyard. We'll stand guard out here and rush in as soon as we hear fighting. Talos preserve you.
Soon.
Talos? Thought that was outlawed, sir. Doing. Come on.
Thanks. Let's teach these bastards a lesson. All right. Last but not least, let's go. Get away from me.
Thanks. I thought I was going to rot in here. So what's the plan? Good. I've got a few scores to settle.
Hey, buddy. You have a score to settle, don't you? Oh, this should be fun. Outnumbered 50-1. Alright, thank God for the shield.
Finish this.
Come on in, push forward. Push forward. Well, he's kind of hard to kill, isn't he?
Put you down.
Where's the old boy?
Great work.
Where'd you come from? I was gonna say.
Where's the bloody dragon? There we go. Another dragon. And to quote the song, which hopefully will get killed by you cuckoos, another one bites the dust, sir. Chief, you're okay. It's dead. Be at peace. I swear, I think I'm just going to keep reporting to General Tullius. If I report to General Tullius, I just lose my mind.
I'm a little busy at the moment. I've got all sorts of errands. You were there for Rogvir's execution. Perhaps, but necessary. My cousin Fura is somewhere out there in Skyrim right now, fighting Ulfric Stormcloak and his damn's insurrectionists. She wouldn't have to be there at all if it weren't for Rogvir.
True.
And my aunt wouldn't have to worry about her daughter. You really don't know?
No.
He lets Ulfric Stormcloak escape solitude. Ulfric rides in, murders the High King, and Rogvir lets him ride right back out. People to see and places to go. You look like an adventurous one. Most people head over to the... If you're not interested in music or drink, you can at least talk to Corpulus. He can fill you in on any of the latest gossip.
True, I may look the part of dashing swordsman.
No, you don't. I'm sorry, the Mohawk is not selling it at all. In fact, you look completely bonkers.
You can sell off that junk at bits and pieces.
Now that we have Winterhold, I can garrison some troops there until I'm ready to march on Windhelm.
True.
I have come to rely heavily upon you. It is only fitting that you join the upper echelon. I am hereby elevating you to the rank of Legate. On behalf of the Empire and myself, please accept this gift along with your new rank. Congratulations.
Very sweet, thank you.
You've little time to glory in your accomplishments. We're gathering our final assault on...
Bad. Haste. Herd. March.
Heard they were forming the Dawn Guard. Vampire hunters or something in the old fort near Riften. Might consider joining up myself.
Out with it. That I am. Train the recruits. Turn boys into men. That sort of thing. Thinking of asking the General for some training books. Give the soldiers something to do while they're on rest. Something besides drinking. Ever seen a book called The Mirror? We used to hand it out to boys looking to learn basic shield work. Good on you. Keep my men in your prayers. They'll need them.
Oh, wrong bloody button again. No, I was going the right direction. No, wait, wrong direction, sir. Or was I going the wrong direction? Or was I going the right direction, but the wrong area? I don't know. Get the break.
You're home. Let's play a game. What do you want to play? Okay, you're it. You're the best. Can you be my father? I don't want to talk. I shouldn't be. Mama says if I do, people are gonna ask about Uncle Rogvir. Maybe if I don't talk, they won't either. Thanks for talking to me. Pardon me. You're it. You can't catch me. You can't catch me. Ha, you caught me.
Hey, wanna play tag?
Papa says I won't see Rogvir anymore, but he wouldn't tell me why not.
If you're heading to the Blue Palace, you might want to rethink that outfit.
thought adventurers were supposed to look tough.
Mother says I shouldn't talk to people. My papa says I'm gregarious, just like him. He says it means smart, but my brother says he's wrong.
If you ever want to replace those old rags, stop by Radiant Raiment.
Well, hello. Thank you so much for chatting. How are you doing tonight?
I wish I could play with fire like that.
Hi there. Pardon me.
Oh, hit the wrong button, did I? Oh yeah, back to what I was originally doing. Alright, where did you go, you Blue Palace? And away! No, that's the military. There be, sir. There be ye. Excuse me, guards. Oh, my guard. I made it funny. Well, thank you so much for tuning in. I do appreciate you. I love Skyrim. I love this entire universe that it's made. I mean, it's a fantastic game. I enjoy it immensely.
Be quick.
It's a fine day with you around. There is room in my court for a new Thane. It's an honorary title mainly, but there are a few perks someone like you could make use of. However, I could only grant the title to someone who is known throughout my hold, and who owns at least one piece of property in my city. You help my people and purchase
Well, I
a
did
house for
buy
my
some
steward,
property.
and
I mean,
make
I
you
did
my
pay
Thane.
25,000 and
Good luck to you.
gold coins. Ay caramba.
Be well. Pray for Solitude and my husband.
I'll
I have so
try.
very many ways
I
to
don't
deal
lose
with
my
them.
mind.
Very few of them pleasant.
Thank you, I try. Most people who play games nowadays are not very positive anymore. They're always like, well, you know, duh, not again. But, I mean, I do enjoy playing the game. I mean, it's fantastic. I mean, you never get tired of playing. It's an expanding universe, and there's always something new to find each time. You might have to play the same mission again, but it'll be a different format, different person saying it. Fantastic game to play. I completely agree there. I mean, I honestly do. I mean, fantastic. You have an expanding universe. You can be anything you want to be. I mean, heck, there's opportunities beyond. You can find something new each time. It's almost like, hey, fantasy is just a brief moment.
Got something for just about
Well,
everybody.
that's pretty cool. I've heard there was a few bugs here and there about it.
Welcome to the center of the world. Or at least my brother Erica's world. Oh, if you're looking for a good attitude, go see the bards. They'll fake it for you if nothing else.
Well, I
If
see that you're a
looking
very
for
positive
truth
lady.
Instead, see Noster.
I'll
He's
go
a good
visit the
example
bards.
of what
Visit
life
there,
has
yeah.
to offer. And if you're just looking to feel good, go get some spiced wine from Yvette. But whatever you do, just leave
I've
it
not
alone.
played Morrowind. I've really wanted to play. I just haven't had the chance yet.
We'll speak again later.
I used to have it for Xbox 360. I can't remember if they did what's it called, a remastered of it. But I enjoyed it. I enjoyed looking at the videos for it.
My Behrend. Baron's my husband.
I mean,
He works the forge up at Castle Dower.
my favorite race, I would honestly have to say, is Nord and Redguard. With those, you have. I mean, it's just fun playing them. The last one I did in Season 1, if I'm not mistaken, was I downloaded a mod for it. It was, what was it called? Cannot remember the name of it to save my life. But however, it gave you the human race. I played that one. That character's name is Leopold Vengeance. I know that's a weird name, but heck, I thought, might as well add a
Trinkets,
interesting
odds and
name.
ends, that sort of thing.
But I mean, I haven't played online yet. I've wanted to very badly, and I'm thinking about getting it. And I mean, it's fantastic. Brenton, I think it was Brenton. Now that I think about it, I did play that, but I did not play it for on streaming. The only two I remember playing was Human Race and the Nord, which I'm currently playing right now. The reason why I chose Nord this time was because I thought I might as well mix it up a little bit. I never played them before. I played a long time before streaming the series, but I really do enjoy it. I mean, you can't find a better game than Skyrim in the Elder Scrolls. I mean, it's always really, I mean, it's just like I said before, it's something new. I mean, most people say, you know, it's not the best or anything, but you know, I enjoy it. It's just like how I enjoy playing Mass Effect Andromeda. Most people think, you know, Mass Effect, the series, is buggy. But to be honest, I think Mass Effect Andromeda is one of my favorite games. It's a fact because it is buggy. It's kind of like playing Space Engineers. You really don't ever know what's going to happen. You can build one thing, you can turn into a whole nother
You can afford a septim or two.
series of things. It's always enjoyable. I remember playing it when it first came out. I was so excited for it, and I played it. I played the crap out of it, and man, it was awesome. It's fantastic. It's just a fantastic game, and I enjoy it. I mean, people probably say, "Oh, you're being too being too happy there, Commodore." But you know, heck, I enjoy it because you don't have those great open world games. If you do ever want to play it, it's open world. It's kind of like Skyrim in a way. I can agree with that. I do like the medieval era worth of games. I enjoy those immensely. Just a simple fact, it's an open book. It really is. It's not a bad game. It's kind of like if you ever have played Star Trek Online. If you ever played that or any kind of a spacey open world game, very few do it. There's very few companies nowadays that will build an outer space, sci-fi, created open world game. But Mass Effect Andromeda, I guess he's one of the best ones I've played. And I enjoy it. I mean, it's a fantastic game. The only problem you have is every now and then it will go buggy and you will see just floating eyeballs and teeth with a smile. Which kind of reminds me of Alice in Wonderland in a way. I was like, this is weird, but I mean, it just adds to it. It adds to the enjoyment of it. Because I remember when the first days of Space Engineers coming out and it was buggy as all get out and holy cow. Or when they first do Medieval Engineers. That was fun. Oh, I want to build a trebuchet. Crap, it's not working. Brenton. Speaking of Brentons. Come on. Don't do that. That's true. Graphics have gotten better. But with the updating of graphics, like, look at Fallout 4, for instance. You have great graphics, but the plot is just so small. They could have done a lot better with it. And I hope Bethesda really looks into going like, hey, well, let's fix this. Because, you know, Bethesda does a great job when it comes to graphics, design. Just, you know, the only problem, the one little pet peeve I have about me and Bethesda is that you have you can create all this wonderful stuff like you're. If I can think, the word's not coming to my mind. Unfortunately, I'm drawing a blank. But the settlements, yeah, the settlements. You can build all this wonderful things in the settlements. That's true. The only reason why I play Fallout 4, the only reason why, I love open world games. If it's open world, I'm like, bam, I'm right there. I mean, I love Skyrim, heck. I enjoy this game to the fullest of abilities. And I love the modding community that's there. Just simple fact, you know, there's all this wonderful. There's a mod on here. It's called Immersive Skyrim Civil War, and it really puts you. It adds more NPCs, and it's just more enjoyable to me because you actually get to see the Skyrim Civil War. You know, that's the whole plot. They haven't. I can 100% agree with that. I can 100% agree with that. I mean, it's kind of like you're in a simulation. If you've ever played one of those airplane simulations, that's the kind of atmosphere I feel like it has. But like, I know, right? It's like Bethesda. They said, okay, we're going to design this wonderful open world, but we're not going to put anything in it. We're just going to leave it kind of vanilla. You can play it all day long, but heck, you will not get a decent story out of it all day long. It's just like...
There's been word of some trouble nearby.
I have not. Now, describe it for me a little bit. Is it can you get it for PlayStation 4, Xbox, or is it mainly a PC game? I do a little bit of PC games. I'm thinking about starting a Stellaris series. If you've ever heard Stellaris, I love Stellaris. It's a fantastic game. But I don't think I've ever played Ed Stalker. I don't believe I have. If I have, I probably don't remember. I'm not too old, but my mind goes a little fuzzy every now and then. I picked a bad time, eh? I mean, you're the one who decided to launch your secret attack before, and I'm just gonna catch your face. You know, they don't really make a lot of good, space strategy games. I've noticed that with a lot of companies. You don't really, I remember, if you ever played, it's on mobile. I don't ever remember them making a PC or a PlayStation 4, Xbox.
You'll be so much easier to run when you're dead.
Of Galaxy on Fire. I love Galaxy on Fire. That was my jam.
Should have come here.
It was. I mean, Stellaris was a breath of fresh air. It really was. You just had a wonderful opportunity. You could create your own form of government. Not only could you create your own form of government, you had political parties that would be activating in it, and you really did have this wonderful experience with Stellaris. Stellaris is what I would call literally what you just said, a breath of fresh air, oxygen. It was needed. It was desperately needed, to be honest. I mean, it's not badly priced either off of Steam Workshop. I mean, for me, that game, which has immense opportunity for only $34.99, that's a steal. Like Space Engineers, I mean, the game $24.99, but I mean, it was decent, and it's still in the beta. They're always fixing something, and I don't think they're ever gonna get it done. But I mean, heck. I mean, it's fantastic. It's fantastic to play. Stellaris is awesome to play. But you don't really get any of those really good space strategy games anymore. I have not seen a lot of them forever. It's just like, it's hard. It is. It is. It's really hard to find it. It's like what you say, it is the Venus de Milo in Italy. I mean, it's a once-in-a-lifetime creation which has this great... I do play that game. I do play that game. I love that game. I love that game. Goodness gracious, I love that game. That's a fantastic game. I mean, oh, let's get it. Die, bandit! Hit you with my righteous flames.
Where are you? I love a challenge.
You love a challenge. I love a challenge too, my friend. But it's a fantastic game. I love that game. I use the same tag I do for my streaming, Commodore Jesse. A lot of people don't understand where the name Commodore comes from. One of my favorite historical figures, Commodore Matthew Perry. It's a very rare naval rank. You cannot, no one hardly ever knows what that is. They're like, what's a Commodore? Is that kind of like a commander? No, it's like an admiral almost. But I know, right? A lot of the people I used to play with kind of just, that's all they do. That and Fortnite. I mean, I love multiplayer role-playing games more than anything in life. It's kind of like, they kind of got hooked on it. I mean, Fortnite and that are similar in a way, but I never played Fortnite, though. It's just like, it could never grasp me. You're like, not really selling it there, Chief.
Disrespect the law, and you disrespect me.
I try to respect the law, my boyo. But, I mean, fantastic game. I mean, I love it. I don't think I've played that one yet. I think I have it in my game library. That one to start. I'm trying to decide between Stellaris or doing the Skyrim Online. Since I never played Skyrim Online, I played a little bit of Stellaris. I love Stellaris. But I've never done Skyrim Online, so I'm trying to figure out how that would work with a series. And it's just like, if you haven't had a chance, if you go back through my videos, I don't know if I've updated my playlist yet. I usually have all of them separated out. What in the world is that cow? Is that a painted cow? It is a Norse painted cow. What in the name of good golly gosh? Buddy, I have to ask.
Stay away if I were you.
I'm sorry, guys. This cow's just like.
And I can't guarantee those beasts won't think you're part of the offering.
What?
Keep your distance, and you shouldn't have anything to worry.
It is a funny cow. Holy crap! I don't know about you, but if I saw a cow that was painted up, you know, like it's fixing to go to war, I'd be going like.
Others do it differently, but I found that an
Why?
annual offering usually keeps the giants away from our lifestyle. Some think it's superstition.
Okay, so you
but
paint
I
the cow.
believe it works.
Let me get this straight. You paint the cow to hide it from, to offer it to giants.
It's tradition. We mark the animal as a way to let the giants know we're giving it to them willingly. Sort of.
Okay. If I was a giant, I'd be going like, "Hey, buddy, I thank you for the cow, but you know, the paint doesn't kind of infiltrate the meat." I mean, holy cow! Literally, it's an offering to giants. What next? I swear if I get picked up. Thank you for whoever shot the wolf. You're my best bud now. I know, right? I'm also a fellow carnivore. Didn't matter New York style solar though. I mean, heck. Let's see. The best steak I ever had was in Austin, Texas. That's some pretty good steak. There's nothing like a black Angus steak. Holy cow. In more ways than one. But, I mean, fantastic. I mean, the marbling was just right on it. I mean, you didn't need no steak sauce or nothing. It was like, bam. It was marinated. And it was like, oh, it was heaven on earth. Then I ate it and I was going like, now I'm sad. Oh, that's cool. I've always wanted to visit Russia. I always thought, you know, it was kind of cool. I mean, I've studied a lot of history on Russia, all the way from Ivan the Terrible to the current. I'm a lover of history in every way. If you ever get the chance to visit America, you should go straight to Texas and say, "Hey,
deliveries to make. No time for chatting.
I need a steak," like Rapido. But I would kill to visit Russia one day. I've been to most of the states in the United States. Oh yes, I definitely love history. My family say I have what they call factiteria. I enjoy history immensely. Anything in history, I enjoy it. Like the London Fire of 1866. That's your random fact from the day. Backsaber cat. Burn. Saber cat steak. That might be an idea. Nah. It wouldn't catch on. Washington, are you talking about Washington State or Washington, D.C.? Because I've actually been to D.C. I visited the Washington Memorial. The Lincoln Memorial is very beautiful. It's a very peaceful place. Now, the best place to visit, if you ever do visit Washington, D.C., I highly suggest the Smithsonian Museum. Especially the air wing, air and space. You get to see all the original spacecraft. Now, there is a place called Huntsville, Alabama. That's actually, a lot of people don't know this, but that is actually the home of the American space program. I mean, that's where most of our rockets that we use for space travel, and a lot of them still today are actually out there for viewing. You can actually Google it, Huntsville, Alabama Space Museum, and it actually has a great exhibits. If I'm not mistaken, they actually have if I'm not mistaken, they actually have a replica of a Saturn V rocket, which, if I'm not mistaken, was the same one Apollo 13 used in the original, you know, the first Apollo missions. They have one of the capsules, which is really cool, and you can actually get into it, which is really neat. And they also have a space camp that they do with NASA. If you are pre-selected, I know a couple years ago they actually did a drawing for it. For most of the high schools in the southeast area, they would pick them from different parts of America and send them off to this space camp for free. And it has a fully staffed and everything. I mean, America's a very beautiful country. It's a very diverse landscape. I mean, Georgia, the state of Georgia, for instance, the state of Georgia actually produces more movies. Although, crap, there's a giant. I'm gonna hide. Giant food is not what I want to be today. I don't want to be a giant steak. Now, the state of Georgia itself is one of the most beautiful. Now, Area 51 is a little difficult to visit, just with the simple fact of there is a ton of military drones and whatnot. You couldn't get 5 feet in that place without them finding you instantly. Now, Roswell, New Mexico, however, they do have a big tourist industry. I've actually been to Roswell, New Mexico. New Mexico is a whole different state. They're very interesting people down there. I mean, it's fun to visit. I've had tons of mementos. I agree. I completely agree with that. I mean, the X-Files, to be honest, I think they kind of quit that show a little too soon for my taste. I mean, it was a fantastic show. The Imperials, you are. Good lads. Good lads.
They can best us. We have another thing coming.
No, don't mind me. I'm just going to jump across the gate. Holy cow. Jump too high. Jump too high. Oh, I thought I was going down. Now, if I'm not mistaken, Roswell, New Mexico, they actually have life-size, if I remember correctly. Can't trust my memory half the time anymore. They actually have life-size dummies, wax dummies of Mulder and Scully. And they have a theater somewhere in Roswell. Cannot remember the name of it. They used to have, every Friday night, you could actually go down there and watch a couple episodes of the X-Files. I thought that was amazing. I was going like, that's a town dedicated just for that one simple genre of sci-fi. Now, California, if you go out to the salt pans, that's very interesting. Well, that's cool. Now, the reason why the society that America built, the current one that you see on TV and everything, is just the simple fact of the blending of different cultures. Like like during the Revolutionary War, after the Revolutionary War, the Continental Congress actually came together and voted to what our national language would be. By 2 votes, our language was actually won by English. The majority of Americans back then, a lot of people don't know this, actually spoke German or Low German from the Swiss area, not Czechoslovakia, but South Germany. They're near Saxony, Moravia, and whatnot. But the American culture is very diverse and very different. Like the culture, technically the culture I guess you would associate me with is the Southerners, south part of the United States, like the Georgia, Alabama, Mississippi, Florida. Oh dear! Ah, skeletons! Burn! A shield of righteousness shall protect me. However, American culture and ideas are very diverse. I mean, they really... It is. Originally, the 13 colonies were 13 independent systems. It is. We have, if you think about it, each state has its own president and governor, has its own legislative branch, which you have the Senate and House of Representatives. Then you have the judiciary. Each state has its own Supreme Court, its own military, its National Guard, and most states have what they call self-defense forces. I know, like in, if I'm not mistaken, Texas itself has its own self-defense force, which is about similar to the size of about half the state's National Guards put together. And it's traditional, where I'm from, originally from Georgia, which is an East Coast state. You always call everyone yes sir. If it's a guy, yes sir. If it's a lady, no ma'am. You say it like that. Now, a comedian once famously said, Southerners have its own dialect. If you want to talk trash to somebody, well, you just say it, well, I love them to death, which is completely funny. Then you know someone's going to talk trash about you. But America is truly unique. There's really no other country like it. Well, then again, there's the United Kingdom. I mean, you have Wales, Northern Ireland, Scotland, you have England. They all identify as their own little nationalities, like in Wales. That's a very interesting language to try to speak Welsh. It's traditionally Gaelic, which is an offshoot of, which is an Irish language, an old Celtic language that hardly nobody ever speaks anymore. Now, Ireland, that's technically a bilingual nation that speaks Gaelic and it's true. I vote for every election. The funny part, a lot of people in my generation don't vote. They say it's all rigged, but truly it's not. Almost every citizen votes. I would like to say the ratio is probably about 65% vote each time. Oh crap, a dragon. That's fantastic. And I don't see it. That also makes me happy. But I mean, there's two parts. The states, like say Alabama, they have X amount of senators that represent the state of Alabama. Now, you have an X amount of House of Representatives that represents the people. The House of Representatives, it's true, I'm not gonna lie, most countries kind of but I mean, I do respect how strong you guys govern are. Really? Now, instead of governors, what do you guys have? Do you guys have a? Well, I know officially. You know. Oh, true. I'm not gonna lie. Like, if you kind of think about it, it's how like the people in Great Britain think they can vote for a prime minister, but in fact, it's actually the political party that votes for the prime minister. And the prime minister's post de facto party loses power. But in the United States, you have two houses that represents the state and the people. It's supposed to be a check and balance system. That's how our founding fathers originally designed it. The Senate's supposed to represent the states, and the people are supposed to be represented by the House of Representatives. And those are the two houses of Congress. And both have to vote on a bill before it becomes law. If they don't agree on it, nobody agrees on it, and then it's up to the president to think, well, let's pass this, and if the president doesn't agree with it, he'll veto the law. That's true. I can actually 100% agree with that. You know about the ancient Romans, right? How they would keep the citizens under heel. The first two steps are, give them food. Second steps, give them entertainment. You give them entertainment, they won't think. You kind of dilute them after a while. True. That's very true. I just think if you think about most of the world societies, if you compare them to ancient Rome, it's kind of, you know, yeah. That's unfortunately how America is starting to go. The government's going like, hey, you can have all this free stuff, but they go like, we're going to take away a little bit of your freedoms each time. That really frightens me. Especially for when I have children, it's going like, oh boy. But I have hope, though. Edmund Burke said this, the father of modern conservatism. All that has to be done for evil to triumph is for a good man to do nothing. But I always believe at the heart of each government beats the heart of the people. But the people have to have faith in themselves before they can have faith in anything else. I know that might sound silly of me, but I mean, it's always how I was taught. Always be active, always question. Without questions, you can't ever find answers. Actually, if you guys have read the news lately, I mean, Texas has tried to not tried to succeed, but they have threatened to succeed if has not been accomplished. But however, we might have you know the state of California actually might not be succeeding, but breaking away to 3 different states: Nuevo California, South California, and Cali. But Texas. The only time I think Texas would ever separate from the Union is if, and only this, that the American government would try to take away the Second Amendment right. That's about the only way I think that would happen. Just a simple fact, Texas is where a lot of our industry is. I mean, the state of Georgia alone produces more carpet than the rest of the world. I mean, we have Mohawk here, Shaw, largest carpet companies in the world. Not only produce carpet, but textiles and whatnot. Mohawk, if I'm not mistaken, actually has a company in Russia. It's called Marazi or something like that. They produce carpet, textiles. I think their speciality is it's almost like a wood. It looks like fake wood. If I'm not mistaken. But Texas was actually its own republic at one point. That's where it gets its name, the Lone Star State. It was a Lone Star Republic. Well, it used to be a lot better. I've seen it change over the years. The state of Georgia is a beautiful state. The state seal is truth, justice, and moderation, which represents the state motto. Why did I just hear a camera? Nah, I'm just losing it. But Texas is a pivotal part of the United States. Something really bad, the government would have to do something almost unforgivable by taking away the Second Amendment right from Texans, because if anything is ingrained into the Southern mindset is a state of rebellion. If you remember this American Civil War, the South has always been somewhat rebellious. Now, we Southerners have kind of this rebellious little bone in us. We don't always agree with the government. We go like, you're wrong. We're going to do da-da-da. But unfortunately, a lot of terrible things happen through them, though. And that's the sad part. But the state of Georgia's really progressed forward from where she once was. The state of Georgia is actually one of the oldest states in the United States. It's actually the fourth state of the Union. We were the fourth state to ratify the Constitution, which I found really cool. Like our state flag has changed I want to say about 5 times. The current state flag, if you take away the coat of arms, if you ever look at it, if you take away the coat of arms, which is the gold part and whatnot, the Georgia was actually on the side of the Confederacy. The Confederacy was it was its own government for a short time that sought help from Great Britain. We tried to get help from France, but France was on the side of the Union, unfortunately. We lost the war. Oh, you're fine. I mean, heck. You should try to see me die. But the Confederacy believed that each state had the right to govern itself more independently than from the Union, because at the time we believed the Union.
Hey, friend. It's good to see another merry soul enjoying this fine day. Ah, but you look tired.
Yes, it was the South. It consisted of 11 states. Yes, you're right.
You've never had a taste of sweet honey brew?
The Confederacy had a president, like the United States did. We had a Congress like the North had. It was just like a mirror of the United States, except the states had more independence, if I can put it in that term. This is a simple fact. Like each state had its own militia, which you would call nowadays a National Guard or Self-Defense Force or whatever, and we would send X amount of troops to the unitary government. We only had the one president during the Civil War, which was Jefferson Davis. And the funny part, he actually wanted to keep the states in the Union. And just a simple fact of keeping national unity, General Robert E. Lee, which was from the state of Virginia, he actually was offered the command of the Union Army during the Civil War. And he turned it down because of the simple fact he didn't want to have to fight his home, Virginia. It's the truth. I mean, if you look at the different mindset, the South has really become more conservative, more leaning to independence from reliability on the government, the federal government itself. We conservatives believe in small government. Originally the Constitution, if you read the Constitution thoroughly, it states that the states are given powers that the federal government are not. And there's actually a way for the states to usurp power legally in the Constitution. It's calling a Continental Congress. What a Continental Congress is, the majority of the states send representatives to a centralized location. It's usually governors. they send the governors. The majority, I think, if I'm not mistaken, 3/5 have to agree that da-da-da law is unconstitutional, and they can actually vote on it if they can usurp the power of Congress, the President, and the judiciary branch of the federal government. But this is few and far between. The last time that has happened was during the ratification of the Continental Congress. And if I remember correctly, that when they ratified this, the only state, the last state to ratify the Constitution, I don't think I have. Is that kind of like the Bolsheviks? I'm not too sure. My main study of Russian history was during the period of the Tsars, the study of the Romanovs, and the Bolshevik Revolution, that and the White Armies. The White Army and the Red Army, and how they fought against each other. And the Baron, who was related to the Tsar, tried to re-establish... Really? You think he meant American, I would have known that. I'm gonna have to look him up. Have you ever read anything about Thomas Jefferson? He was more what you would call, he was the original radical. And don't worry, my spelling's awful also. My teacher in language was going like, you know, I cannot spell worth a darn. Hey, you're fine. Your English is perfectly fine. Your English is almost better than mine. Thomas Jefferson fought for independence before and after the American Revolution. He was the second president of the United States. He was very influential. Him and James Madison, who were really the framers of the Constitution as we know it today. There's two sides of the Constitution. Those are people that are pro strict construction, which means that the Constitution is static. It is literally etched in stone. Then you have those. The Democrats believe in what's called a fluid Constitution, that the Constitution is alive, it's evolving, and with it we must evolve the amendments that are with it. Which is something I don't believe. I believe the Constitution is etched in stone. Thomas Jefferson also believed in this, and he really fought for it tooth and nail till the day he passed away at Monticello. Now, Monticello is a beautiful plantation he actually owned. If I'm not mistaken, it's either in East Virginia, near Appomattox, or somewhere around there. It's been a while. I think I was like 5 when I visited it. It was a beautiful, beautiful place. It still has the mansion up there. And the Library of Congress, which we keep most of our laws and books. I think almost every book that has ever been printed, including the Gutenberg Bible, is actually in the Congressional Library. They did, but the George Washington was more of a military presence. He was the general, and also first president of our nation. However,
God might get nervous.
The framers, I think that's the word you were looking for, the founding fathers, written the Constitution. However, the first, if you would like to say the proto-Constitution, was called the Articles of Confederation, which did not work at all. We had a rebellion against the first federal government. It was called Shays' Rebellion. Shays' Rebellion really started this anti-Second Amendment hoo-ha that's currently going on in the modern American society. However, Shay believed that it was unfair for the federal government to tax farmers and to tax the state to tax them also. So they started the Shays' Rebellion, which was which was a big hoo-ha. But George Washington, the thing that he was, before the Constitution was ratified, the president was more of a chairperson, if that makes any sense. He was the chairperson, he just made sure there was order kept. Shay is spelled S-H-A-Y. Almost. Shay's Rebellion. Shay's. It's kind of like Lay's, but it's spelled Shay's. S-H-A-Y. Yeah, something like that. Sorry, my southern accent keeps kicking in. Oh, spider! I hate spiders. Evil little buggers. But Shay's Rebellion started all this anti-Second Amendment hoo-ha, and it kind of damaged the reputability of gun owners after that. And after them, it's just kind of gone downhill in a way. Fast. But then we have, if you also look into the Constitution, you have what's called, why is there, mass grave. Oh, that's fantastic. They were digging their own graves. That's fun. They had freedom of religion. The only state, originally that was not even in the Constitution, the state that actually moved for this was the state of Rhode Island, which is back then was called New England. And they said, we're not going to ratify it. We will not ratify the Constitution. You had to have, back then you had all 13 states had to ratify this for it to be considered the legitimate government of the colonies, or at that point the states. And until then, it was just kind of what you would call an unspoken constitutional right. And they added the freedom of religion to the Bill of Rights, which is attached to the First Amendment in the Constitution. And Rhode Island ratified it, and it went through, and we have what's the Constitution today. However, even though Thomas Jefferson was an avid abolitionist, I'm not gonna lie, that's true. I'm not gonna lie. Putin kind of put a damper on things. I like the point of Russians. The Russian people are what I would like to call a very serious people. They have what I like to call a very great point of view. They can go like, you guys can literally pick apart what we silly Americans do. Man, we are some of the dumbest people on earth. True. Putin is what I like to call the unknown molecule. He is there to cause trouble. True, the Russian military was one of the most powerful. It rivaled the United States. It did. You guys, during the Cold War era, Russia was to be feared, and if you crossed Russia, God help you. Really? What did you do for the Russian government? Were you in the the legal department and whatnot? See, my dream one day is to become a state senator. That's my dream, to be an active role in my government. I've always loved learning. I think the coolest thing oh, that's really cool. That's actually really cool. I'm not gonna lie there. I've had family that worked for the military for a long time. My family's been in every war the United States has ever fought. A lot of my family spilled blood to help others. I'm very proud of what my family did. That's really cool. Almost had my doctorate in theology, which is the study of the Bible and religious texts. That, and I was getting my degree in education, secondary education. Well, that's really cool. I've actually got a chance to drive by the headquarters for the United States military, the Pentagon. I remember seeing it on television after 9/11 happened. And it was a very sobering event to see it. That is terrible. That's crazy, if you pardon the expression. I remember back during the 70s when the United States military were trying a new psychological warfare. I've read about it and seen the documentaries on it. They burnt an entire town down to see what the traumatic event. Traumatic event would happen on a large populace. They started a wildfire during the 70s. And it was kind of hard. It was kind of hard to believe at first, but when I read the papers and looked at it from a more objective point of view, I was going like, that's still insane. Your own government destroying an entire town just to study the effects of that. To me, that's just a little crazy. But as we call our American government, Uncle Sam tends to think he knows best sometimes. I know, right? Obama is what I'd like to call a soft leader. I think he actually, if I'm not mistaken, I can't remember, you probably remember this more than I do. I think he either spoke to Putin or he was speaking to a Russian ambassador on television. And he said, I'll have more leniency after this election. And they didn't turn off his mic in time before he said it. But Obama was what I would like to call a soft president. It's exactly like what you said. He was not a good leader at all. He kind of put aside America's security and America's he just threw the people away. He just said, I don't care. And during that time we called him Old King Obama. As heck we thought. We thought he was going to become president for life for a moment. But I was glad to see that a person I voted for actually become
Yes? I'm Anska.
President.
Are you here to help?
It's not, it was called Common Core. It really dumbed down the educational system. It did. Like I said, it would be like 2 + 2 = 4.
I just know it's in here.
You had to take 1 + 1 + 1 + 1 = 4. You had to go through this
It's probably meaningless
roundabout way just to get it the same answer.
Family legend, it links our bloodline
Down here in the South, we call it chasing rabbit trails. Now, why we call it chasing rabbit trails? Because you feel like you're going around in circles to get to the same place.
I may need a little help.
But Obama was what I would like to call the great dumbicator. He just said, forget America's educational system, we're going to tear it down, and we're going to make it sound completely ridiculous. Put it this way. My cousin who was still in high school. I asked him, "Do you know who the first president was?" He said, Lincoln. I was like, "Really?" Yeah. He technically his birth records are officially from Hawaii. But there's really don't know, to be honest, like, because in the Constitution you have to be born in the United States. No, I didn't mean to say he was great. I was just saying he was a great dumbicator. Dumbicator, like he was dumb.
That's the last of them.
The only thing I remember Obama doing anything great was when he was talking about himself. The guy loved to talk about himself. Dumbicator. He was a moron. An idiot.
Huh? No sign of it.
Okay, who did you just burn? You burned Lydia. Why did you kill Lydia? That's crazy. Like, Obama was a complete idiot. If I can be so bold to say. He believed that he could do anything, the Democrats could do anything, say anything, without getting, just getting your way from it. He was truly closest to an idiot you could ever get to as a president. And that's saying something. Did you ever hear of the president called Jimmy Carter?
No sign of it.
Jimmy Carter was an idiot, a dumbicator. He gave away the Panama Canal, which was a very strategic resource. Yeah, he's Georgia. We call him Georgia's great shame. He is the only governor from the state of Georgia to become president ever. He ruined it. You know, he just said, forget it. He was very soft. Him and Obama have to be one of the softest presidents that we have ever had. I mean, he was pretty much mush. Represent against pleasure. How do you call Carter? Jimmy Carter is what I would like to call the softest president we ever had. He was a dumbicator. D-U-M-I-C-A-T-O-R. Dumbicator. I mean, the guy was a moron. To be honest, he was a nice guy. He was. You would call him a very pleasant person. But when it came to areas of government, yeah, you might as well walk away.
Sort of lever puzzle. We'll have to figure out the correct order to flip them.
Yes, exactly, my friend. Exactly. Another word I could use for him is a dunce. If you ever heard of that term. He was the kid that would sit in the back of the class with just an idiot. God bless him. Bless his heart. You gotta love him to death. Holy cow. He was just dumb as a brick. God bless him. Nah. To be honest, I actually respect you Russians quite a bit. I mean, your culture has been around longer than American culture has. If you think about it, America's only been around for less than 300 years. I think we're at like 280 at the moment. 280 years America's been around. The Russian culture and the Russian identity has been around for thousands of years. That's true. After the Cold War, I do apologize. I just want to apologize for all of America on that one. But I mean, like I said, I really do respect the Russian people quite a bit. I do apologize about that. Yeah, I think America has been around. I know in 1975 we hit our bicentennial. Then I think we're at 250 now. Because we've been in business since 1776. In 1976, we had our bicentennial. So, we have to be, it's 2018 now, we have to be at least 250, 248. I gotta believe that, yeah. I believe that 100%. Now, we'll say something. You guys do have one of the most beautiful natural reserves ever. You have, you spend a lot of time. Yep, that's true. We spend quite a lot. The majority of the American budget is spent on military.
We must be getting close.
Yeah, we spent quite a bit of money. Not gonna lie there. To be honest, I think we could have got a better deal on the price.
Is someone there?
To quote Trump. If I remember, I think we spent. This is just a rough estimate.
Careful with that fire.
I try to argue, to be honest. I think it's always important to take in other people's point of view and evaluate them. Because half the time, other people can see things that you don't see yourself. Holy crap, there's a vampire. Okay, pal. Time to rumble. Come here. Or is that a vampire? No?
Let's move on. The scroll must be in the next room.
To be honest, I really do think we wasted a lot of things.
Yes?
I do believe that Russia should have a bigger role in world policing. In that, I mean, America is not, it's not supposed to be, you know, the superhero, as it were. And that kills me. I mean, Russia, you guys used to have one of the highest living standards. You guys were almost right up there with us.
Sometimes I just like to watch them burn.
You just have a pleasant attitude, don't you? Aniska. That's the name of the
I cannot
character.
thank you enough for all of the help.
That's true.
And
Yeah, I think the only reason why we're still the most powerful is just a simple fact of the technology we have with our military, even though it's aging. Look at the B-52, for instance. The B-52 has been in service since the 1950s. Not the 1950s, I'm sorry. Let me restate that. The 1960s. We started using it during the Korean War. That's crazy. Now, that's crazy. You know what's your currency called? Is it called a ruble, or is it like? Because I know like Ecuador, they have the Ecuadorian dollar. Yes, the B-52 bomber, the airplane. That it's been in service since I want to say 1963, rough estimate. I mean, it's one of our most. It's an ancient aircraft. Like half the ones that you see. Okay, the ruble. Okay. The B-52 has been most of the ones that you see now that are now active for military were sitting in the middle of the desert in Arizona, and they put a special foam on the inside of them. It was supposed to be used for. It's supposed to prevent rust and whatnot. That really gets stuck. I did. That's really cool. Here, I don't get a bonus for work. Unfortunately, that's management. I would kill to get a bonus. Most of my hard money goes to paying bills. I mean, my car alone takes most of my paycheck. That's really sad when I think about it now. I just wish I could have got my car cheaper. Where I live, cars are really expensive. Like for 1 week, like I pay by week with my car. It costs me about $118 a week. And that's like ridiculously expensive for a motor car. Like used to, you'd be able to buy a car. I remember when I first started driving, you could buy a car for about $1,500 and be okay. I loved that.
Thank you again.
I had my first car was a 1992 Toyota 4Runner. It was a 4x4. I loved that thing. Had it for 6 months. I spent my life savings on it. Yeah, Toyota. It was a small SUV. It was about. It's called a 4Runner. Forunner. 4Runner. It's a neat little vehicle. I had it. I only had 68,000 miles on it. It was green. I love Subaru. Holy crap. My favorite's the Impreza. WRX. Yes, bingo. You got it. But, good golly, I love that car. You can't hardly find them nowadays. Yep. Good God, I love the Impreza. That was one of my dream cars. Just the WRX package on it. Oh, it was so awesome. Here in Georgia, if you're cool, if you're considered cool, you drive a pickup truck. Like, I had a 1994 F-150 Ford pickup truck. It was just a two-wheel drive, but man, that thing was beautiful. Red. God, I love that truck. But the engine blew on me, and I was like, "Oh, really?" I'm not gonna lie, we like big cars. We do like big cars. I'm not gonna lie. We have an unhealthy love for big cars. I don't know why. But I mean, holy cow, we do have I'm not you're 100%. We do love big cars. Now, I don't know why. I mean, you can go anywhere. You can go, well, besides Africa and Australia, most places don't have pickup trucks. Like in the United States, if you would put every pickup truck that has ever been sold in the United States, you could circle the earth about 15 times.
Heard they're reforming the Dawn Guard.
Land Cruisers are.
Vampire hunters or something. In the old fort.
I love Land Cruisers. You cannot kill those things. Have you seen the new Toyota FJ? Those are neat looking. The guy who actually built that and designed it used to work for Jeep. And they fired him, and FJ stands for F Jeep. But the Land Cruiser is a really good SUV. Durable as crap. It can beat a Jeep Grand Cherokee any day. And I love Jeep Grand Cherokees. It kind of looks like an older model Land Cruiser. It looks kind of like a maybe a 1996 Land Cruiser. It has more of a boxy design, if I can say that way. It's it kind of looks like a Humvee and a Land Cruiser had a baby. Like a Hummer and a Land Cruiser had a baby. And bam, you got the FJ. But it sells like crazy over here. There's not a day go by I see one on the road. Another thing that really, it almost looks like a Highlander. Highlander's a good vehicle. Now, the only problem I ever had out of the Highlander is its transmission. For some reason here, the transmissions are garbage. But if you go anywhere else, I've heard that they're fantastic. I think it's just the ones that they put on the American market. Like here we have the Ford Expedition, the Chevy Tahoe, or the GMC Suburban. We have ones like that. Now, those are big SUVs. It is. My family actually used to have one. It was the family car. It was black, had a V8 in it. You could not kill that thing. I don't think we changed the oil on it for almost 3 years. It is. It's about the same size as a T-34. I'm not gonna lie. It is like a T-34 tank. It's about as heavy too. Thing was a gas guzzler. You fill the tank up when it lasts you 4 days. Now, I think the coolest Russian tank I ever saw was a T-34. And we actually had one here. In the town I live, we actually have 3 tanks on display for the National Guard unit. We have an old Sheridan tank. We have an M1A1 Sherman, which was used in World War II. The Sheridan was used during the Vietnam and Korean Wars. Now, wasn't there a Russian tank called the T-54, or am I thinking of something else? Is it the T-54, or what was it? It was a very widely used tank. Yeah, I think it was called the T-54. I think it had a 88mm main gun on it. Had a PKG machine gun on top of the turret for the gunner. It was something like that. What was it called? I think it was the T-54. I love the design of it. There you go. I think I'm back now. That was weird. Yes, it was the IS-2. It was very widely used. I remember seeing that the Iraqi army, I think the Iranian army has some. That I remember, I watch a lot of military parade videos. I think I've remembered seeing some in the Russian military parade. And it was really cool watching them going down the streets. I mean, I thought it was the coolest thing ever. I love tanks. Are there any more skeletons I need to know about? Yeah, the T-34 was a medium tank. It was used in World War II, if I'm not mistaken. Cossacks. Weren't those the missile trucks, if I'm not the rocket trucks? They had like about 30 to 40 rockets on the back of the vehicle. I'm not sure, but I think that's what it is. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. I'd rather be corrected than, you know. Now, Russia had a lot of cool military vehicles. To be honest, I think Russia had a little bit more diverse landscape when it came to tanks, armored vehicles, missile trucks, especially the ones that you got that the Russian military uses that's a mobile ICBM launcher system. I think that's the kind of the coolest thing, to be honest. Now, the United States, we have what I would like to call a very wide variety of aircraft and ships. Not as much as we used to, mind you, but really? Tell me a little bit more about it. I always love learning about new cultures. Well, the main ancestor of my family is Welsh. That and Irish. Hello, what are you? Yeah, apprentice stuff. Oh, that's neat. Hey, don't worry about being polite, man. I don't mind it. See where... Oh, that's really cool. That's actually really cool. Kind of reminds me back in the American West, all the different Native American tribes. I'm part Cherokee. But I remember learning in high school and middle school about the Trail of Tears and the I think I might do that later on. I have my day off is tomorrow, so I just might. I think I will read that. Okay, how did I end up in this town? I don't even remember hitting the button for this one. Okay, the Lover's Stone, okay. Don't know why it popped over here. Yep. I am 136 Cherokee. My great-great-grandmother, she was full-blooded Cherokee. And her husband, my great-great-grandfather, he was full-blown Irish. And I get that little part. Like, to me, I am white as a flipping cloud. I am white as all get out. But my sisters, they can tan. You'd swear they were full-blooded. My grandmother, she looked more Cherokee than anybody in my family. My main ancestors. It is. Have you ever heard of Sequoia? Sequoia was the first Cherokee to create a written language for the Cherokee Nation. And the Cherokee Nation was actually the most civilized. They did a lot of trading with the British. They were tough. Holy crap. I actually did a paper and a thesis in college on Sequoia, on how he revolutionized the Cherokee people, changing them from nomadic tribes, kind of like how the Cossacks were. They were independent. The Cherokees were independent for a long time, until unfortunately, even though he was one of our most famous generals and president, Andrew Jackson, he actually made them move to Oklahoma during the Trail of Tears. This was a terrible period in American history, and that's actually how my great-grandparents met. It was during that terrible time. But it's such a sad story, and if you ever do visit America, there's actually a highway that runs on the direct path on the Trail of Tears, all the way from a city called Chatsworth, where the Cherokee capital used to be. It was called New Echota. I mean, the capital actually still stands today as a historical site preserved by the state of Georgia and the Cherokee Tribal Council, which is really cool. Yep. Have you ever heard of the Apache Indians? There was a very famous Apache. His name was Geronimo. He actually fought General Custer in the 7th Cavalry and annihilated an entire American cavalry unit.
There's been word of some trouble nearby. I'm on my way to investigate.
One of my friends I used to work with, he was actually... They were! I'm not gonna lie, the Apache were very bloodthirsty, but you gotta kind of admire them for their unyielding, independent streak in their spirit. To me, that was the coolest thing learning. Another saber cat. Ah! They were. They gave no quarter to their enemies. scalped him. Duh. Just the thought of being scalped myself kind of drives me up the wall. I already have a fear of being bald. So I'm guessing you watched some of the John Wayne movies? I love John Wayne. Holy crap, that was a fantastic actor. Now, you probably don't know, you probably never heard of this. Have you ever heard of Sirius XM? You know, the satellite radio company? Yes, John Wayne was one of the most influential actors for American Westerns. Clint Eastwood, too. The Good and Bad, the Ugly. I mean, Clint Eastwood was one of my heroes. One of my favorite movies. It wasn't a Western. However, my favorite Western from Clint Eastwood was called Pale Rider. I don't know if you ever heard of that one or not, but that's one of my favorite movies he was in that was a Western. Yep. It is. I mean, most of Clint Eastwood's, it was mainly, he goes into a town, shoots up the town, makes the gravedigger a lot of cash. But you gotta love the, the thought of, Nah. Fantastic movie. They don't make any Westerns hardly anymore. I know it's the one you're talking about. It's the, what is it called? Silver Dollar? No, that's not it. I'll probably think about it later on playing Mass Effect. What is it called? What is it called? Let me think here for a second. That's going to kill me because I know the movie. I actually have it in my movie collection. What is it called? It is a bad Western, but you gotta love it though. Westerns really kind of fill the void for a little bit in American movie for a while. If you love American movies, there's one I highly suggest. It's an older film, and it does star Clint Eastwood. It's called Bloodwork. Bloodwork. It's a fantastic suspense movie. Vietnam. Did you ever watch We Were Soldiers? Platoon's an awesome movie. I love Platoon. We Were Soldiers starred Mel Gibson. Yes, Bloodwork. Bingo. Fantastic Clint Eastwood movie. I think you would enjoy it if you like Clint Eastwood. I mean, I think you're gonna love it if you do watch it. I mean, I highly suggest it. I mean, fantastic film. You can't hardly find it here where I live.
That's close enough.
Because
Never should have come here.
Clint Eastwood movies are hard to come by. I don't know why, but as soon as we get them in our local stores, they're gone. They're poof. You mentioned the word Clint Eastwood in the South, the movie's gonna sell. I'd be more than happy to. I'd be more than happy to. Hold on one second, I'll do that real quick. There we go. It should be popping up in chat. There we go. But fantastic movie. I love it. I'm not gonna lie. I think you'll like it. If you love any kind of Vietnam movie, that's gonna be your jam. That's gonna be your jam. Hey, if you liked it so much, if you don't mind, please hit that subscribe and like button. I appreciate it, man. I enjoy talking to you. And I'll stream every Monday night here in the United States. I stream Monday, Tuesday, and Sunday. So you're more than welcome to stop by, have a chat. But here in a little bit, I hope you do, man. You're going to love it. You're going to love it. I mean, when I was younger, war movies, all I ever watched. But if you want to, you can stop by here in a little bit. I'm fixing to hit that 2-hour mark. I'll finish up at the 2 hours. And I'll switch over to Mass Effect. You're more than welcome to stop by and watch that for a little bit. So you can look at it and say, if I want to play it or not. And if you know anybody else who would like to watch, hey, thank you, man. I appreciate it. If you know anybody whoever likes to watch a little commentary, have a little conversation, please invite them. I'd appreciate it very much. And
So why'd you join up with the Legion?
I mean, heck, I enjoy talking to you. I mean, I enjoy talking to other people from other places because you get to learn so much about them. As soon as we hit that 2-hour mark, we'll switch over to Mass Effect. And after that, I think I might be doing some Star Wars Battlefront 2. So if you'd like to stop by and watch that, if you know anybody who likes Star Wars or anything like that. True. That's very true. Great films. You can't hardly find a lot of good movies anymore. Most of them are kind of too out there where they kind of play to the same thing. But that's more me being old-fashioned. But, I mean, it's hard to find a good game nowadays. And just a good movie. I know, right? Battlefront 2, Star Wars Battlefront 2. I play it almost on every stream. Actually, I have an entire series. I have a couple of series dedicated to it. They're usually 35-minute to 45-minute videos. God, the God's honest truth. Hollywood is terrible. But if you would like to watch it, you're more than welcome to watch some of the videos I have on it. Hit that like button if you do. I know, right? I have a couple Star Wars videos already on there, so you can get a kind of a feel what's going on there. And like I said, I'm actually thinking about starting a Stellaris series that will be coming this next Friday. True. They're very hollow. They're what I call fake faces and fake smiles. It's called a Hollywood face. Godfather, the Goodfellas. When I thought I was out, they pulled me right back in. Fantastic, fantastic. Get a little hand view real quick. There we go. It is, ain't it? Alright, man. I'm going to be switching over to... Well, I think I might leave it up to you guys. What you guys think? Should we do Star Wars Battlefront 2 or Mass Effect next? I'll leave it to chat and figure it out. I always like to get input from my viewers. I need to work on my character a little bit there. A little scruffy. I'm going to finish this stream, man, and I'm going to be hopping either on Star Wars or on Mass Effect. I'm going to let you guys on chat decide real quick. Because if you guys like Star Wars more than Mass Effect, I'll move my Mass Effect stream to tomorrow afternoon. So I'm going to let you guys decide if we're going to be doing Star Wars or Mass Effect, Andromeda. I'm going to let you guys decide. Because I'd rather you guys watch something you'll enjoy. Yeah, I'm going to play another game and stream it. That's what I like to do. I like to do everything live. I don't like doing things recorded. Mass Effect, alright, we'll do it. Alright, this stream is going to end in just a second, and then we're going to be switching over to Mass Effect, which we'll be streaming right after this. So bear with, and please stand by.